This is the Workplace Ninja podcast, coming to you live from our summit in Baden with highlights, insights, and interviews.
So, welcome back. Table is almost empty, so everyone disappeared.
People are leaving.
Yeah, it's the last.
It's the last day.
It's the last day. It's not the last recording that we're doing. We will have one after this
Okay.
with track owners.
So I'm almost last but not least.
Absolutely not, not least. Definitely not. But yeah, these recording, this again calendar schedule was not filled in. So I found someone. He wears a green shirt, so the speaker shirt. So you have talked about.
This week I have talked about getting data out of Intune with Graph and PowerShell.
Okay.
Put that in a little Azure function and push out a Teams notification like when you have a blue screen event. And we gave people the building blocks, hopefully. I got some feedback that we did manage to do that and show them that it's quite easy to set up in less than an hour.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Exciting.
It worked. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. But first, who are you?
I am an AI. I'm not. I'm not. My name is Merlijn van Waeyenberghe. I go by Merlin from Belgium for obvious reasons. It's much easier to spell.
Why? Because for us, it's easy to speak.
You're Dutch.
You're
Dutch. You can say this, but I have people come up to me, how do I pronounce your name? Well, try.
Van Waeyenberghe.
Yeah, you can do it. It's easy. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I go by Merlin from Belgium online. That's where people can find me. And I've been a community speaker for quite a while. This is my fourth time at this fourth edition of Workplace Ninja, so I'm always happy to come back.
You was there also last year?
Absolutely.
And we didn't met?
I think we have met probably, but you know, I'm not so good
many
with faces. And you do meet a lot of people, don't you? Even the ones that you've met before, and you've just said hi. And then you get a chance to have a random conversation with them on technology or otherwise. And that's why this is a great place to be. This is almost like a holiday.
Yeah.
We actually do some work here, but it's also good fun. It's amazing.
What is for you the key reason or the main reason to be on this event? What makes this event differs from others?
Right. For me, the main reason is because I love it. I love sharing information.
Mm-hmm.
I like to innovate. I like to play with new things all the time. And I don't keep that to myself, because when I get passionate about it, I want to talk about it. So, and my job is to also find solutions. So I'm in workplace management. You know, I think I'm at the right place for that.
Yeah.
And I use a lot of PowerShell, for instance, and I work with cloud a lot. So if I find a good way to do something, then I'm happy to share that. And this is a great place to do that.
Definitely.
And for Europe, I think this is the biggest one and the main one, right?
Especially focused on workplace security, some automation.
Yeah,
I guess.
For our space.
Yeah,
obviously
definitely.
for our space. Yes.
Yeah, when you look at Experts Live, which was last week in
Prague.
Mm-hmm. That's much broader. There's also data center and more end user computing, probably, but also security. But the whole space with adoption and so on and so on and so on. So this event, I think we have 6,500 people or so.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly focused on managing
a
device or a workplace that delivers a solution to an end user. And it can be an app, that can be a desktop, that can be... And how can we manage that?
And how can we manage that? And there's a bunch of people who can try and answer that and explain what's coming, because that's what we want. What's new, what's coming our way. There's been a lot of applause this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what for me the biggest benefit is the amount of Microsoft people walking around and having conversations with them. That is so huge.
Yeah.
I don't know a community event where so many Microsoft people are.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah.
That was last night. They asked me anything with Microsoft.
Yeah.
There were tweets with photos. I think there's 45 Microsoft people here all on stage.
Yeah.
To me, that's the first time. I've seen it growing over the years.
Yeah.
and Microsoft has been more open to the community. They're always there to support. They're a big sponsor to this event, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're VPs. They're like the main people, and the devs are here too. So you can just walk up to someone and, hey, this doesn't work for me, or what are you doing on this? And for me, that's become second nature, because I've been to a few conferences, and I hope that most attendees don't shy away from doing the same thing. Just approach these people. They're just professionals in their job like you, and they're open to feedback. They want that feedback so hard.
Yeah, and the change since a few years, I think it was since COVID, it has been changed a while.
Right.
That they are more and more open to the community. They always collect feedback, but also
thank you for that feedback.
Thank you for that feedback, and giving feedback back to the community to do things probably in another way or something else. That openness, that is key.
Yes.
In how we can organize such an event at this moment.
But important to say, and that comes back to your question, why does this conference differ from some others? We have these people here.
Yeah.
They do share some information that would not be out there, like it's not being recorded, it's not being shared to the whole world. So we do get a little insight, a little preview. So if you weren't here this year, make sure you come next year. You know, it's definitely one of the reasons to be here.
Definitely. But you're walking around as a speaker. You have done some things, but you have also done a few other things.
Yes.
You've talked to people.
Yes.
About what?
About AI.
What's that?
Hence my introduction.
Yep.
I am not an AI. I swear I'm not. What is AI? In English, at least, it stands for artificial intelligence. And I've already learned this week that in different languages, there are different letters for it, like IA in French or KI in German. I can't say the full word. I need to practice. So my passion recently has been everything about AI in technology in general, even from before ChatGPT, okay? And I spend a lot of my spare time in it, but I also try and apply it to our job. And this week, I am going around to people just like you, just like myself, including some Microsoft VPs, and we'll be sharing the recordings, by the way.
Yep.
Happy to do so. And it was very insightful. I've been asking them, how do you use AI? Maybe in your personal life. And I've been getting very different responses. Like some people use it creatively, for writing, for image creation. Of course, there's people who have insights in how it's going to be used in our Microsoft space, and security, and people who shy away from it, like, I don't know, I see my kids using it, I don't know if I like it. So how does education work around it? And I love to talk about that. That was my intention. So I asked the kind people at WPNinja Summit, can I please go around and do my own interviews, which, by the way, I'm totally new to. I've been walking around with a little microphone that I just bought last weekend, and I use my microphone and my mom's gimbal. Like, cool, mom, thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't have a gimbal. So it's all very new, but people are so open to it. To just have a chat, like 5 minutes, and talk about AI. Where do we stand today in this workplace management space? And where do you see AI taking its place in the next month or year even, although nobody can predict that? And it will be cool, I've learned now after doing some interviews, to come back to that next year when we're here, chat to the same people. So how about those feelings? How about those predictions?
What has been changed in that area?
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. But did you know that you listen to AI when we start this recording?
You did mention something. You gave it away to me, and I wouldn't have thought, I could have. It sounds so natural. I would assume that you had someone like that sounded like a very nice professional voiceover type of person that knows what they're doing. If that's AI, that's proof is very convincing.
It's AI. I've used Fiverr as a platform. I requested someone to have a voiceover because the music that's created by a friend of mine, but that's used quite a while. I think we started that in 2000. What is it? 2021 or so. We created that, so I can still use it.
Yeah.
But that needs to be on top of
Yeah.
it. Should we talk or do it by ourselves. No, let's try to do something else. And last year we did it already, and now we did it again. It's if you can do it by yourself, but if someone over the world is delivering that solution for a few euros, okay, give me that, and then it's okay.
It doesn't cost a lot.
No.
And it's good to have friends that know stuff. You have a friend that did that music.
Yeah.
So that's great. It's the same in technology, right? I would need a script for that, but I'm not so good at PowerShell. Let's ask a friend. This is what AI can do for you as well.
It will be your friend.
It can be your friend. I want to be careful in that. It can do some other stuff as well. I mean, it's improving, and these tools are so useful.
But on the other hand,
music.
On the other hand, it can be your friend, but will it be the evil or your enemy?
Will it be? Can it be? It can end up being anything. I was going to say it can do anything, but I don't believe in it doing anything, because all it is language output. It doesn't do anything.
It does nothing.
There are some moral
Still.
debates about it, and I too wonder if there is some sort of awareness. Up till now, I believe that is in the context that it is given, and it's getting really smart at that. And I think it's down to us humans, so us poor humans, who are just not capable of understanding what we've just produced. That's really what people are talking about in this AI space. Like, we're not sure how this works sometimes. That's a little scary.
Yeah. So. What is your opinion, or what did you hear from the people when it comes to evolving AI within our work? Look, Microsoft has announced a few things around AI, Copilot, for example. What will be the next step probably there to see if I deploy or set up some baseline configuration and so on, will that play a role in that area?
Yes. Again, as your friend, is one option. What I mean by that is the session that I did, so it had a lot of technical content. We had like 3 slides and then just dove into the demo. Prepping for that takes a little while. It does take some effort, and I'm glad we made it work out. But there's always some challenges, and there's something that breaks and doesn't work. For fun, I tried to ask a recent AI tool that I'm actually working on in open source. It's day 3, that's right. We're all a bit tired. So I'm contributing to this open source tool that I'm quite excited about. And I thought, let's see how smart this one is. So I asked it, ask Intune for any devices that had a certain event in the past few days. Look, it needed a little guidance, but it knew how to query the Graph API. It just asked me for my tenant ID. It needed an access token. And in less than 10 minutes, I had literally all the content that we had in the session. It was working.
Yeah, but and on the other, we had a discussion with a few Microsoft people on this table in the past few days. That was also about AI. AI can definitely help, but you also need to know what the language is of the code that is generated, because there are so many mistakes still in the results of AI. So you need to verify that by yourself. You can use it for learning, but you still need to verify, and that's the case at this moment. So also a former colleague of mine, Euronice, did a few things on Azure Vlog regarding incidents, with OpenAI integrated in Sentinel and Power Apps, for example. Yeah, it works really well. But before he was doing the right thing, he had made 20 mistakes, and it was because how do you ask OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever to get the correct result? So for the simple things, on short terms, for the simple things, it will work within incident recovery and that kind of things. But That's the first step.
Hmm.
And then with all the data ingested into all kind of systems,
Yeah.
that will be better and better and better next year.
Yeah. And part of that is machine learning,
Yeah.
which has been around for a while, and I don't know too much about that. But what we're doing mostly now, we as in both the big players like Microsoft, like OpenAI, Meta, Google, but open source as well, is we're trying to find ways to use these models better and to train them more efficiently. So we've got models for code, we've got models for this, we've got models for image creation. What we can now do, and that applies to what we do as our daily job, we could start training a few models we can give them a few samples, like if I ask for a query in Intune, you should be using this API, and just give it samples to learn from, and then you have a tweaked, a fine-tuned model for use in your job.
Yeah.
And I think companies will need guidance in how they can use their own data and their ways of working, and use AI to leverage that, so they can become your friend, and even just automation.
Yeah.
For security, I think it's relatively easy because it detects patterns, which a language model will already be pretty good at. For the simple things, for sure, yeah. If we're coding, we're being creative, right? And yes, we do need some understanding of what we're running, especially, and this is a big one, if you're just trying something, copy-pasting it from ChatGPT, Bing Chat, whatever you're using, GitHub, Copilot, be aware you're running this on a system, so maybe do it in an isolated environment. Make sure you understand what it's doing. And the best thing is, if you don't know what it says, what it's going to do, ask it, explain it.
Yeah.
So be sure to do that. Run it in a separate environment before you go try that out in the wild. But yes, it's definitely very good at coding and becoming increasingly better.
And I'm really interested if you have that conversations this year, but also next year, what the come out will be if we're here next year again.
If we're here.
If we're here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As in, the conference will be here.
The conference will be in Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to that. Absolutely.
Let's meet up then again and see what the results are.
Let's have the same chat, and I'm going to do that with the interviews as well. Like, address people on, like, remember last year's conversation? We made a few predictions. We were looking at it this way. Like this, I've heard a comparison to this is like when the internet came around.
Yep.
Who would have expected us just having internet in our pockets?
Yeah.
And using it in our daily
The world
life.
has been changed, and
Yeah, and I think this is another moment like that.
Yeah, and that will be changed in the next few
Very
years.
exciting.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you
part.
for the opportunity. Absolutely.
And
Look forward to the next one.
yeah, let's meet up again. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.